Welcome to Puzzle with Emilia. That's me. And you know what? I never actually thought I would travel 2 countries within the same weekend. But I did just a couple weeks ago. And yes, I'm talking about the Dutch Nationals and the Nordic Jigsaw Puzzle Championship that took place in the same weekend. And yes, I did go to both. It was quite a trip. First of all, I was traveling with like 20 to 30 puzzles. Like literally this luggage here was just full of puzzles. And then I have this small luggage for my personal items. Then also the fact that I didn't sleep when I was actually traveling from Sweden to Netherlands, which obviously when you don't sleep, everything gets much funnier. And also the fact that Rembrandt got very traumatized on this trip because its red panda friend got literally killed. But I'm gonna tell you all about it in this video. And you often ask me, how do I actually pack my luggages with so many puzzles? So I'm gonna give you tips on that. I'm gonna literally unpack the puzzles that I had with me, obviously some new ones as well. We're gonna go through the puzzles. Okay, here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Obviously that's not all. I have another one as well. Oh my god. Okay, let's take a look. Let's start with this one. Okay, so obviously I've taken all my personal items away from here. Whoa, that went fast. But yeah, here you can basically see. So there's a lot of things. In general, my rule is that if I have a puzzle box, it will fit at least 3 puzzles. I think these were the last things I packed, so I had no longer like left those puzzles that kind of like the boxes fit inside each other, but I will certainly have great examples here of what I'm actually doing. And then I have a bunch of these. I have actually a bunch of these more in the smaller luggage. I'm gonna explain how do I work with the bags like that, because you can obviously see I have less boxes than I have these bags with me. So how does that work? So I have, for example, this Ravensburger 1000-piece puzzle box. Inside of it we have 3 other puzzles. So I have just one bag. This is actually, well, I don't even know what it is. And then I have another box here. So this is 500 Ravensburger piece puzzle. A little bit better. So this is a truffle puzzle that I got from Stein. This one also has 3 puzzles inside. Yeah, so here you see. Basically I put here 2 bags of puzzles and one other box. This is also Ravensburger. This is actually the one from the Dutch Nationals. Yeah, oh my god. So this is the Dutch Nationals puzzle here, this one. Left it open so there is more space. This is just another puzzle bag. And then I left the pieces loose because it won't get mixed, because I already have 2 other puzzles pieces in the bags. But if I would also back these ones, then it wouldn't actually fit here because there is just simply no space. So what I do, I just put this inside, leave it open, and then I spread the leftover pieces basically just around, and they will fit perfectly. So yeah, that's basically the key of how to pack 3 puzzles inside every box that you have. Now I need to be careful because you can see I'm leaving pieces behind. That is not good. I think I did the same with this one as well. Yeah, here as well we have loose pieces, which is the original, this one, and then we have 2 puzzles in bags and one like smaller box hidden here as well. So yeah, this works quite well. But if you actually have like extra space, so obviously now I had all my personal items away from this luggage, but if you have a luggage that is not completely filled, then don't do this, because if there's a risk that your lid of the puzzle box gets off from 2 puzzle boxes packed like this, then obviously the pieces will get mixed. But my luggages were completely full, so no worries with that. Here as well you can see I put a little bit of the puzzle pieces on the side, but with this one it also worked in a way that I just put them very nicely on the bottom because it's quite deep, this box, so it just worked perfectly. Yeah, and obviously why I've always not put this, so I could also close this. Some people do this and then they just put it inside of another, which also makes sense. But a lot of times if you have this a little bit full, you see it doesn't close fully. So it goes a little bit over and then it causes the issue that this lid doesn't fully close. So that will also leave like this. So yeah, I'm just trying to use all the space that I actually have. This is also a puzzle from the Dutch Nationals. I think I'm actually gonna go through this separately because I just realized I have so many puzzles here. Let's take a look at the other luggage. It will have much more of these just random bags of pieces. All right, so you see lots of just bags of pieces, and you can obviously make already the conclusion that oh, my lovely shoes are still here. Wooden shoes because, you know, Netherlands, it's kind of must. So actually a lot of these puzzles are puzzles that my friend has, that I sent him as a mystery puzzles, and then some new ones, so they literally never had the box, because that's the point of the mystery puzzle practice. But for reals, these are absolutely not all mystery puzzles. For example, I have all the US Nationals 500 piece puzzles here because I knew that my friend wants to do them. And I was packing and I realized very soon that I will not have space for like, what there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 8 of those and then some other puzzles that he really wanted to do. So I was like, okay, can I bring them all? They will not fit with the boxes. There is no way. Also, like, you cannot really put 2 500 piece boxes into each other, you know what I mean? So to save space, I just basically put them inside of the bags and I left the boxes home. And then I know might be really hard to understand for somebody who's born later than me, but I went and printed those images from the puzzle boxes. So then you basically could just have the paper with the image working pretty much the same as you would have the box. Obviously the quality is not exactly the best, but it works for the purpose, and that's how I managed to bring with me. Let's try to do a small calculation here. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, I already lost the count, 24, 24, 25, 27, wait a second, 27, 28, 29, 30, what the, okay, I honestly thought I had like 20 puzzles, but that seems to be not the case. 31, 32, 33, holy moly, let's not lose this. Oh my god, this is much worse than I thought. 34, 35, 36 puzzles. You're welcome. Yes. Obviously, I had the big luggage to check in and I had the carry-on luggage to the plane. So obviously, I know a lot of people travel with just carry-on. But yeah, 36 puzzles. And I'm not sure if I left with more puzzles than I came back with. There was some exchange and new puzzles, obviously, from the Nordic Championship and the Dutch Nationals. But yeah, 36 puzzles. I honestly thought I was talking about like 20 puzzles. I swear to God, that's why I said, because I think I said in my intro something like 20 to 30 puzzles, and I was like, okay, 30 is like complete exaggeration, and almost felt bad with like, I should just stick with the 20, but yeah, actually we're almost close to 40 puzzles, so help, is this a problem? Okay, I had to get a little bit organized here because I really want to walk you through the events and everything, and we're not gonna go through those mystery puzzles because there's no point, and those are the US Nationals puzzles that you already seen in the previous or one of the previous videos, so you can just go watch that if you're interested. But you know what I just realized? So basically from the Nordic Championship I only have this puzzle, so I also do have the individual puzzle, but I gave it to somebody to bring it to Finland on my behalf and I haven't gone to pick it up yet. So yeah, in the Nordic Championship, so that was basically Saturday, Sunday. I only participated on Saturday, and there was like a Nordic official competition and then like an open Nordic championship. So I participated on the official one, presenting Finland on solo pairs and teams, and then I also did the open teams, and that was actually lovely. I really want to talk about that. But yeah, I don't actually have that first solo round puzzle, but it would be this one. And I actually really loved that puzzle. So I ended up being 16th with like, I think my time was for like 51 minutes or so. And I was so happy when I opened the puzzle, because lately, in comparison to others, which obviously matters the most in competitions, I've been doing so much better with photograph images. And I feel like we have had so many illustrations, or almost like only illustrations, in most of the competitions, like official competitions, excluding maybe teams, maybe have more often just photographs. But I was so happy to get this puzzle, and yeah, I was feeling for it. Funny thing though, after I finished, there was one of the people from the organizers, or actually somebody's dad, who said to me that, oh yeah, I was watching you on my screen, you looked very angry on the live stream. And I'm like, I think that's just my face, because I mean, yeah, I got a little bit frustrated because it took me like good 17 seconds to place the last piece, because I always put it the wrong way. And obviously with this new rule where you can call the time and they will take the time, and if you're missing piece, you'll get 10 seconds penalty. It takes me so much time to put that last piece always into the place that I feel like it would make more sense to me if I just threw that piece away and be like, time, and take the 10-second penalty instead of trying like 70 seconds. Like, does it go this way or this way, or why it doesn't go? And then you tried already also the right way, but because you know that you have this problem, you think it was the wrong way and you keep turning it. It is ridiculous. But yeah, and then I did pairs with Kira, and we did this puzzle. It was super nice. We haven't practiced together. We have one double date with me and Daniel, and she and her husband. So that's the only practice we have had this year. It was nice. I actually do like the puzzle, but it's hard to split with the pair, because this sky just takes, like, it makes sense the other person kind of like, so I did basically all the easy parts. Horrible, I know. But the sky takes so much longer time that we ended up obviously finishing it together. But yeah, another nice photograph, so kind of happy about it. I actually do want to do this also solo, so quite excited for that one as well. And we ended up being 30 or something, which, you know, I mean, I was there for the fun anyway for the other round, so it doesn't really matter to me, and it's still a good placement. Then I did the teams, and I had two team members that I've never met, which is funny because I don't use my glasses often, and I actually cannot see anything without my glasses, so I literally don't see the people's faces. And I remember I came a little bit late when everybody was already seated. I did not know our table number. I was completely lost. I could not find my team, but then I did, thankfully. And we had this very cute puzzle, also photograph, and we ended up being 17th, I think. But then, and by the way, 4 rounds in one day is quite a lot. But then after that, I had the teams open, and this is very magical to me. So the thing is that, you know, there is like teams that sometimes the collaboration works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes even if you practice a long time together with some team, it's still not like perfect. It's a lot of like dynamics and stuff. Obviously, I used to coach before, like speed posting coaching, but in sports I did used to coach specifically for teams, and I feel like the dynamics of people is always very interesting to me. But yeah, with that we actually placed fourth. So I did it with the other the Swedish people, so Tyra and her family. It was so much fun because I've never puzzled with them. Tyra is faster than me, so I literally never seen her puzzle because she always finishes before me, duh. And it was just working so perfectly. Like, it was just flowing, and it wasn't even like the puzzle was super easy, but it was just flowing, like people were feeding me pieces, and I didn't really even understand the strategy. They tried to explain it to me, They also speak Swedish with each other here and there, of course, mainly English, but like it was like there was like the things like strategy was so different from mine, the language thing and everything. Like you could think that it didn't go, like it wouldn't go too well, but it was just flowing, and we ended up being fourth, which is like amazing. And most importantly, it was like super fun. Probably one of the best experience puzzling wise from that whole weekend. So yeah, I also want to say thank you for actually inviting me to that team. It was just super fun. If you hadn't invited me, I probably would have just skipped the whole round. So yeah, that was obviously fabulous. But right after that, I knew that I have to get back to our Airbnb because I have to get to the plane in the middle of the night. So I have to wake up at 2 a.m. wake up at 2 a.m. to hop on a taxi and get to the airport so I can compete again in the morning in the Netherlands. Okay, so traveling to the Netherlands in the middle of the night without basically sleeping at all, because it's like one could say, yeah, you could have sleep, like go early to bed, but like, you know, it doesn't work that way. You cannot just sleep whenever you want. Because it would be convenient. That's not how brain works. Anyway, I arrived in Netherlands in Amsterdam, and Stein is coming to pick me up from the airport. First of all, I'm just gonna blame, by the way, everything to the fact that I wasn't sleeping. So I could not find myself out of the airport. Like, I was just standing there looking at the map, and I'm like, yeah, I see the exit and I see where I am. I don't get it. I don't get how to get out of here. Then also, if you have seen my Swedish Nationals recap, I don't really remember when was that, but me, Stein, and cars together is a trouble. No other troubles except that the car, every time you were driving somewhere, then you stopped or parked, and then you needed to start driving again, the car didn't start. And I'm not even kidding, like literally, the car did not start. You press start, it doesn't start. What you gonna do about it? Anyway, it was such a tight schedule. Well, it wasn't that tight, but like literally we went straight from the airport to the venue, and I was changing my clothes in the car. And so that was Sunday. On Saturday, the Dutch Nationals had already the solo round, so I did not participate them, but I did get a copy of their puzzles, and I wish I would have done them for this video, but no, because I was spending also a week in Amsterdam after that, so I've already done them while I was there. But I did take part in the teams and in the pairs. And this was super nice surprise for the pairs. So I already heard about this like day before, and we were speculating this in the car on the way to the venue, because apparently the official website said something about that the piece count for pairs is minimum 500 pieces, and obviously nobody would read it that way unless it was like literally something else than 500. So I had kind of like two theories. First of all, I was pretty sure it's gonna be square. Either that it's going to be square, and if you don't know, Ravensburger square puzzles, at least the old ones, that say that they are 500 pieces, they actually have 572 pieces. If you've ever done those and wonder why your time was so bad, it's because of those extra 72 pieces. Or that it would be 750 pieces, which it ended up being. Now this is one of these like a puzzle moment puzzles where this is actually not the full image, but thankfully we started, I catch it right away because I saw this one and I was like, this ain't the full image, so we just used the back of it. And then there was one tiny little problem, and this is why I probably should have read the official page and the rules beforehand, because in every competition where I do pairs, I do the puzzle. So in most cases you're like on the opposite side of each other. But when I do pairs, and I did this also in the Finnish Nationals, and it has never been a problem in any competition, I actually do the puzzle from this end. So basically, we're doing the puzzle this way. So it's not like fully upside down to the other person, but it's only like sideways to the other one, and it's the right way to the other person. Well, obviously this was somewhat against the rules apparently, and I was not aware of that. It was not mentioned before. This is something I obviously try to always consider everybody. I understand it takes different way, the space away. So I always ask, usually, for example, in Finnish Nationals, I ask people around in the other tables, like, hey, fine, if I do it this way, am I on your way? Are you like changing places and stuff? Do you have enough space to do so? Never would I thought that it's kind of like bothering so much. Like, I understand it's bothering the volunteers and stuff, but I really didn't thought about it. We committed doing it that way, and then the volunteers started walking past and being like, you can't be on that side. And that wasn't necessarily a problem to me. I get pissed very easily. Well, not pissed, frustrated. Also hadn't slept. And I think at one point there was the volunteer saying that again, and I asked, because I didn't know. I honestly did not know. I was very confused with it. And sometimes volunteers don't always know everything either, and I don't know who the volunteer is. For example, in Sweden, we actually had a case where we set time to stop the time, and the volunteer didn't stop the time because she was not aware of the rule that we decide when the time stops. We were actually like missing one piece. So she started to wait for that, and I said so many times, like, time, stop it. But anyway, back to this scenario, and like, no hard feelings. I was just very tired, a little bit frustrated with the situation. Also because it was like a much bigger puzzle. You cannot just flip it and turn it if you committed to do it that way, that I wanted to do it. And I think I asked something like, hey, like, is it really a rule? Like, it was an honest question, and I think the answer was something like, yes, Emilia, it is. And this is maybe a Finnish thing, but if you use my name that way in the middle of the sentence, because we don't really use names here in Finland, that's like, I was like, that, like, I was so thrown off, like that, I don't want to say it destroyed my mood, but yeah, it kind of did, and I could not come back from it. And obviously, this, like, no hard feelings to whoever said that, like, nothing bad there, like, let's not make it a big thing, but like, I'm just saying honestly, because that probably added like good 10 minutes to my time, because I was just so, and yeah, I'm just like, I'm not gonna say I'm on the spectrum, but like, I always had this even as a kid. When I get frustrated like that, and it's usually over something really small, there is no way going back for me. Anyway, we did finish the puzzle, and I think actually, I don't know our place. I'll put it somewhere here because I don't remember. That's how much I also care. But yeah, it was a nice puzzle. I was really pissed, but what you're gonna do? Also, we took a picture afterwards. I think Daniela probably took this picture, and I'm very good at looking happy to other people when I'm upset. It's just my friends who have to deal with it. But yeah, it was nice. It was fun. And then I kind of like another surprise, and something that differs also from other countries' nationals, because I've been in plenty. In the teams, we actually have 1,000-piece puzzle and one 500-piece puzzle. And also this was really nice because the 500-piece puzzle was like these big, large pieces. So definitely like a puzzle that, even though it's published, it's not really something a lot of people have done, because, well, actually also same case with the 700, 500-piece puzzle. So I also, by the way, I love this image. It was so much fun to do this. And also the 1,000-piece puzzle. We actually started with that 500-piece puzzle, made more sense to me. And then we did this 1,000-piece puzzle. So anyway, obviously 2 competitions and 2 countries in the same weekend. It's a little bit crazy. My health is not exactly the best. So it was kind of like, why would I be doing this crazy traveling? Am I sure that I'll be fine? Yeah, of course. Well, not so much. I almost thought I'm gonna faint out of pain when we were doing the second puzzle. But I managed to push through. I literally changed places with somebody, and I was just working on the sky like, I can do this. I just need to finish this. Just don't tell me to change place or stand up again. Like, again, I was just sitting there, apparently looking very relaxed, which is funny because I was hurting so bad. But yeah, overall, very interesting. I feel like the Dutch nationals, literally, I feel like I would have so much to tell you, like how it was and blah, 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 blah. I think they had very professional setup. I think they even had like an app or something where they were in real time putting the results as people finished or something like that. It felt like a top notch, but to be honest, I was so tired I can't remember anything. I feel like the whole day is very cloudy in my mind. It feels like we went there, we competed, we left. The car wasn't starting again whatsoever. But yeah, I'm happy that I did go, and I really love these puzzles, and I'm super excited to do these ones solo as well. Now, what else? Because obviously I stayed in Amsterdam after that for almost a week, and I have some more puzzles to show. Alright, Amsterdam, one of my favorite places on this earth. Well, that's maybe an overstatement, but I used to spend there a lot of times like a decade ago. So it was so fun to be back. The city has absolutely changed, not at all. What is actually most confusing to me these days in Amsterdam, because Amsterdam slang has a lot of words that are Hebrew. And I don't think I realized that a decade ago, but now it's just very confusing to me because I also learned Hebrew in between my last visit. So for example, like they call the place Makom, which is like literally a Hebrew word Makom, which means literally a place, like, you know, very original, guys. And yeah, it feels like a lot of Hebrew helps me understand Dutch, which used to be more like I understand Dutch through German. I don't actually know Dutch that well, but it's just the other languages that help me to understand it. And also one funny thing with the Hebrew and Dutch people is like Dutch people probably are the only ones in Europe who don't think I'm suffocating into my words if I'm speaking Hebrew. Slicha, because that's just how we pronounce the words, like the chet and kach. So yeah, it's very different from other European languages. It's not that strong in Dutch as it is in Hebrew. Actually, it's a different letter that they pronounce that way. But anyway, throat sounds, what you're gonna do about it, or as my friend calls them, choking sounds. Yeah, back to puzzles. So we did a lot of puzzles, and I know I asked this in my community post. There was like a poll of like, guess how many puzzles I did in that week. To be honest, I don't know the actual number. I thought it's gonna be somewhere between 15 to 20, but I didn't take a lot of pictures of the puzzles we did. I mean, I took some. For example, of this Ravensburger round 1,000-piece puzzle. My puzzles are going into places, which is actually interesting. I don't think they manufacture 1,000-piece round puzzles anymore. At least I've been looking because I think it would be a good practice. I think it's coming up. If you want one of my predictions, I think eventually we will have in some official teams competition a round 1,000-piece Ravensburger puzzle. But anyway, back to the business. So I'm just saying that I thought it's going to be somewhere between 15 to 20 puzzles that we did, but now that I also thought I had only 20 puzzles in my luggage and I ended up having 36, I think it's safe to assume that I actually did more than 20 puzzles that week. One of them actually being this Amsterdam puzzle, because I wanted to go for a scavenger hunt, but that actually technically never happened. I was visiting another friend and I saw some of these buildings because, well, I can recognize buildings that has a sign that says something that I can read. So I did find a couple of these buildings, but I didn't really go and look for them. And we actually managed to finish this on the last night because I kind of started it on the first night, and then it would have been just sad to put it away completely without finishing it. And then funny thing, these are kind of like accident puzzles that I accidentally bought, because when I was ordering that Amsterdam puzzle, you know, when website is like you get free shipping if you order more. So I ended up ordering also this, and then I got the free shipping. And then I was like, maybe there's a discount code. And I think I went to their Instagram page or something, and I was like, oh, I found a discount code. I added to the discount code. It put the price so low that I no longer got free shipping. So I had to add this one also to the mix. Long story short, I haven't done these, so this would be very exciting to do. I actually love Martin Schwarz puzzles. I also have their Stockholm puzzle, and also like they usually have, so they have all these buildings in these images that they do are actual buildings, and they will have like not a map, but they have a list of what are all these buildings. So you can actually use it for scavenger hunt if you want to do that. I also did one in with the Norwegian puzzle with Veronica, and it was super fun. So just throwing that idea out there. Anyway, and then also I actually did very good that week. I was doing a lot of 500-piece puzzles. For example, this one I did, and I was very happy to take it home with me because I absolutely love this puzzle. If you have heard me talking about cute kitten puzzle, this is the one. And I did this under 40 first time. I think actually 39 and 39 exactly I did this. Super fun puzzle. And also it is the Trefoil puzzle European Championship coming in 1 week or so. And then I got this puzzle. This wasn't really gifted to me. I just saw Stein had 2 copies of this and I was like, oh, I'm taking the other one. Kind of non-conversation. So yeah, excited to do this one. I actually love older Ravensburger puzzles. I think they're really good practice because they're usually harder than the ones that are manufactured these days. This is actually from 2014. Yes, there's one funny thing. So there is a zoo in Amsterdam and they have red pandas. And I realized that like 2 months ago. And it's the only thing I was like, the only thing I want to do in Amsterdam is to go to that zoo and see the red panda. And I've been talking about it nonstop for the last 2 months. I follow their Instagram, and if you look at my phone, I have like just a screenshot of that red panda from that zoo. And we were originally planning to go on that zoo on Tuesday, but then we ended up going there on Thursday. And when we go there on Thursday, this is not even a funny thing, but it kind of is. Okay, and my puzzles are still going to places. So we go there on Thursday. The red panda is like on the other side of the zoo, so we saw a lot of things before that. We walk all the way there, and there is this sign that says, and remember this is Thursday, it says that the red panda they had was put down on Wednesday, the day before. So apparently the red panda was like old and sick or something, so that's why it was put down. But like, what are the chances that I've been so excited to go see this red panda? We were supposed to go on Tuesday when it was still there, but we didn't. We went there Thursday and it was put down on the day before. I was like, okay, Prim Prim should not be listening to this. Let's put Prim Prim away. Prim Prim is traumatized. So I did not see a red panda, which is like, this is like literally the saddest thing of my whole life. Yeah, so no red panda in the zoo in case you're thinking about going. Yeah, okay, no red panda in the zoo. I still cannot get over this. This is like the most, like, it was literally the only reason I wanted to go to that zoo. So yeah, it's just very weird. I feel sad for that red panda obviously, but like, yeah, okay. Also, like, by the way, seriously, one really random thing, this happened also in Norway. I do not know how to open the doors in Amsterdam. It is so weird. And because this is already a second country, oh my god, there's a bee inside. Or is that a fly? I don't know. Oh my god. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Focusing. So I don't know how to open doors, and because this is already the second time it happened in such a short time, I started to investigate this. So apparently the doors indeed are very different in Finland. So why I am having such a hard time opening the doors abroad is because in Finland you only turn the key. Like literally you cannot. I feel like with the abroad you can like turn the key forever, like it will spin and it has like this free fall whatever is going on. In Finland you literally turn it like 45 degrees and the door is open, and you can already feel when you put it in and you start moving it, it's pushing something, the mechanics that it's opening the door. But when you have like this that you can just roll it forever, you have to roll it more than like, I don't know, 90 or 180 degrees. I just get so confused, and then I just roll it forever, and then I'm like, okay, it has to be the other way around, and then I'm just like the door does not open. I don't know what is it in Finland. Also a couple other things about doors in Finland. If you live in an apartment building, it's the same key that you use for the main entry and your own door. So we don't have like 2 keys separately. That's also very weird. I don't know why other countries do that. And apparently also people here don't understand our doors, because in apartment buildings you actually have 2 doors. So you open the front door just to having another door that you need to open, so the other door opens this way, the other one this way. Does that make sense to anybody? I think it's just to keep the noise away. You know, like if you live in an apartment building, you don't want to hear what other people are talking on the hallway, and you don't want to be heard to what you're talking in your house to the hallway. So it just makes sense. But yeah, I don't know how to open doors. I think I was literally stuck 15 minutes behind the door because I just could not. I like literally, it was just going places I could not open it. Yeah. Oh my god. But I'm good with other things, just not doors. And also, now that I'm getting into this, I think there is actually a correlation with speed puzzling. Let me explain this to you. So, a lot of times I coach people who have done puzzles like literally like 30 years. They have a lot of these habits, and for them, it takes much more time to learn new things than the people who just started doing puzzles. Because the same as with the keys, so basically I've done it millions of times in my whole life, always the same way, the same movement. I don't really think about it as an automatic thing. Then when I go abroad and it doesn't work the same way, I'm just getting very confused, and I'm like, I cannot even start thinking about this because I never really thought about how to open a door. It just opens. So that same kind of happens with speed puzzling when you have like these habits. For example, if you started from the edges every puzzle for the last 30 years, it's going to be really hard for you not to do it without your brain starting to fight against it and being like, huh? So yeah, there is I don't know where I'm going with this, but it is kind of the same thing, that if you have something that's so automatic to you and you've done it so many times, it's really hard to get rid of it. So that's why also when people start pushing, they hit the plateau. There's usually something that they repeat that it's not beneficial for them. And then they keep pushing more. They start doing more 500-piece puzzles every day, and they keep repeating also the bad habits. So that's also bad for you, and you should really know if you have any of those. Because that might be also a reason why you're hitting a plateau. If you're just repeating something without even noticing that you're doing it, and it's not beneficial for you. But yeah, anyway, that was about it. But yeah, long story short, I did a lot of puzzles. I had super fun. I came back on Saturday and most horrible thing happened. The only thing I forgot to pack, or I lost it somewhere in my packing, was my headphones. And flying without headphones is really painful. And I was especially annoyed because it was one of those big Finnair planes that has like, you know, 2 aisles and one row has like 9 seats, so it's like a really big plane, and they have like all these screens for every seat, so you can like watch movies and everything is included. And I don't have headphones, which I would have already been best if it was just a regular plane, because I do listen to music. I'm very much unable to like read or play on my phone while I'm in like moving vehicles, so, and also I can't sleep on moving vehicles, so very annoying. Music is the only thing I do. And yeah, no headphones. Not gonna do that mistake again, I swear to God. But yeah, now I would love to say like, yes, well deserved rest, but I think actually within 1 week or less. Yeah, I think from, less than a week, and I'm gonna be traveling to Budapest for the European Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, and I will be have next week this video about getting ready for that competition. So yeah, very exciting. I have some predictions of puzzles and winners and all kind of interesting stuff, so stay tuned, and remember to subscribe and put the notifications on, because that's really important thing. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.